I'm Devin Vacek. Today I'm here to talk about you on a persuasion speech. I'm here to persuade you about giving blood and why it's a good thing. My audience today is my reporter, Matt, and Tracy. And I'm, as I said, going to talk about why I believe giving blood is a good thing. The first time I gave blood, I was 16. I was 17. I was in high school. My teacher kind of forced me to do it, making me feel bad, telling me why it's important to give blood, and ever since then, I feel that it's a good thing to give blood every chance you get, whether it's by your school or making the effort to go to your local donor. But firstly, I'm going to talk about why it's good to give blood, and then I'm going to talk about why we really do need to give blood as often as we can. And so, as to start off, as I said, why it's good to give blood. Just some facts about blood. Whenever it's in your body, about every 120 days, your blood recycles. The old red, white blood cells, they're recycled out of your body, and you get new ones. It freshens you up in a way. And whenever you take blood out and you store it, it has a lifespan of about 45 days, so it's drastically cut down. Blood is needed on a day-to-day basis on a huge scale at hospitals and elsewhere, whether it's from car crashes, shootouts, or any number of reasons. It's also a good reason to give blood because about 25% of the U.S. population alone will have to have a blood transfusion in their lifetime at some point, whether it's, as I said, a human-made error such as a car crash or a shootout, or whether it's something to do with, you have a liver problem and your liver has a hole in it, or your stomach has a hole in it. There's just millions of ways that you could actually need blood. It's also good because you yourself may need it one day, not just that you're saving somebody else's life, but think about the fact that if you get in a car crash, which everybody says it won't happen to me, but it very well may. And just think about the fact somebody gave blood to save your life, so why shouldn't you do the same to save somebody else's when it can mean that much to you? Just a pint of blood. Another reason that a lot of people should give blood is there are many blood types. You have A negative, B positive, B negative, and O. And just one blood type is not compatible with another. Your blood cells carry a special trace that your body reads, and if it doesn't match what your body's supposed to be reading, it sends antibodies in to kill this extra trace, which means your blood won't be compatible. Your body will be fighting itself if you get the wrong blood transfusion, and you'll be worse off than when you started. As I said, it's got a 45-day lifespan, and huge amounts are needed daily, from all kinds of errors. Next, we're going to talk about how you can actually give blood, the eligibility for it, and what steps you need to take to give it. You have to be 17. You have to have your parents' approval at 17 because you're not yet of age to make your own choices for stuff like that, according to law. You have to weigh 110 pounds. Those are just two standards you have to be before you can even think about giving blood. Now, in order to get a hold of one of your local blood donors or someone like that, you can get a hold of Red Cross. They will tell you how to go about getting a hold of one, or they will refer you to one. Or you can talk to your kids. Sometimes they have blood donations at school, blood drives in high school. You can also talk to your hospital. Your local hospital could also recommend you. They're very good about this kind of thing. Some other things that you'll be asked before you actually give blood, do you have STDs? Have you had the flu in the last 6 months? Have you been out of the United States? Have you been areas where certain diseases or things like this are common? They'll have a separate amount of time with you before you actually give blood, and if you do not pass this test, then obviously you can't give blood. And even once you do give blood, they test your blood afterwards just to make sure you weren't lying. And, not saying that people are liars. They just want to make sure. That way, whenever they do give this blood to somebody to help them, in the long run, it doesn't end up being the reason they die. They'll also ask you what kinds of medications have you been on. They'll ask you just a lot of personal questions. But the main reason that I think it's good to give blood is because you may need it one day. You know, just think about it. There could be a 2-year-old child that has some kind of liver disease or some kind of abdominal pains or something's wrong with their stomach. And they leak blood and they constantly need blood transfusions, but they're an O type. And you have an O type, but you never wanted to give. And you know, that child doesn't have the blood that it needs at the doctor's because nobody's donated around them. And as I said, it only lasts for 45 days, so we constantly need donors. That's the way that I look at it. These are the reasons that I believe it's good to give blood. As I said, if you want to think about this, just go talk to Red Cross, talk to your local hospital or somebody that you know that's been around it, and they'll refer you somewhere to give blood. And that's it.